Well, I wanted to show you a good technique on how to shell popcorn, and it's kind of got a good life lesson with it too. And I'm going to apply it at the church, but I know you can do it in the military or the army or even a family unit, but it's important to stick together. Now when you have an ear of corn, this is popcorn. Popcorn is a type of flint corn. We grew this in our garden. You can see the garden down there. And we hand-picked this, and we've let it dry on the ear for a few days, and now I'm going to shell it. And you can take this, and it's terribly hard to get this to shell off when it's all together. And it's much easier. I want to show you how I do it. I know some people will take a chunk of wood like this and try to jab at it, and there's not a real good technique, but I'll show you how I do it. And what I take is I start rubbing these two together like this, because, and I'll show you what happens here. And you get it started and you rub them against each other, and it's not perfect, and some ears are much harder than others, but you'll get them started. And I just keep rubbing them like that. And what I want to do is get a streak, rub down one. Like that. Then when I get a streak, rub down one all the way, then I'll just grab me another ear and I'll keep doing it. So I'll do this one, then I'll start right here, and I'll go and I'll work this one out. I'll just keep rubbing all the time. It gets hard, and that one's broke, but you'll see how it is. Well, pretty soon you can see this bucket. I've got a bunch of them, and all of these have one streak down the center. And the reason that's easier is because you can take a solid ear like this and go, and it's hard, and you have to, but if you can rub a streak, if you use your finger, you can do it. I take two, and I save my finger a little bit by rubbing them together. Now I've got a bunch like that. And the thing about going to church, staying tight with your family, or in military, they want everybody to stay together, but I'm a pastor, so I care about doing the Lord's work. And you're more effective doing the Lord's work when you do stay with other people of the Lord. Because what happens is you can ever divide them up, then these don't have anything to lean against. You see over here, those are tight. They're leaning against each other. I can't get one of them out very well. I got to start over here on the edge and work my way up, always pulling against something that has no other support against it. And I can take this here, and now that it's like that, all I got to do like that shows right off. And much easier. It's not hard on your hand. It's just much easier about, and you can get them, when the cobs are hard, you can just go like that, and it just shells right off. And why is that? Because of this streak right here. It's the weak streak. You just start, and you can just, so much easier. Barely any force using to get that off. And just see, you can just work your way around. And that's what Satan will do to Christ's people. That's what Satan's going to do to Christians. So if he could ever get you alone with nobody to lean on over here, you're in trouble. That's what they teach the military. That's the way it is in a family. But if you care about the Lord's work, if you care about Christ at all, this is a lesson you need to apply to yourself. If you don't have a church you're going to, you need to work real hard to find one. Get around so that you're over here. These are impervious. They're surrounded. They're held up by others. Over here, this is the weak link, and there's people out there that I know they're Christians, so they don't think they have a good church to go to. They need to go and be a part of a good church, or else Satan comes along and you're just so easy to push over. Can't push these over, you can push these over. So if you want to get corn off the cob easier, cut you a streak down, and I use two cobs to just rub them against each other till I get me a streak down, and then you can just take this and just twist and grind, and they just And the way it is these guys fall, and pretty soon he keeps working in. And pretty soon he's around, if you're over here and these guys keep faltering, these guys are weak, so you end up being on the edge eventually. So if you're not going to church, I encourage you to find a good church to go to, especially in these times. I know it's tempting. It's hard to find a good church because Christianity is so churchified. And so churches are hard to stomach anymore, and there is a lot of stuff in the church that's hard to stomach. But if you look hard enough, I think that the Lord would send you to a body of believers that you could be a valuable part of. Not only could you be a valuable part of it, it'd be a valuable part of you, and it'd give you a opportunity to stand shoulder to shoulder. People standing shoulder to shoulder together are a lot harder to break apart. So just like this popcorn. So that's how you take corn off the cob, especially hard popcorn. That's the way you shell hard popcorn off the cob. You divide and conquer. That's the way Satan's going to take Christ's people out, the Christians out too. Don't let them do it. I'm Adam Todd. I do pastor a church in the middle of Iowa, but we also farm. And I'd encourage you to give this video a little like, maybe share it with somebody else that might be an encouragement to, and maybe subscribe to the channel. But that's the way you take popcorn off the cob.